Hello everybody and welcome back to a beautiful and sunny day in Arizona Adventure Park. In the last episode we started to build this beautiful new and last area in our park, which is the monkey world. We started with building a huge and almost too big habitat for our gorillas and also started with building the house for them. The original plan was that we are going to house the gorillas, the chimpanzees, the orangutans, and also the bonobo in the house. That plan, not that plane. We're not flying anywhere. We're going to build in that area today, which is going to be the habitat for the chimpanzees. And the plan has changed a little bit because the house is not going to be big enough for all the apes to be homed in there. So we might see which is going to be the third species that we are going to house in here. I'm thinking about the bonobo because that would make a lot more sense than the orangutan, because the bonobo is also an African species and the orangutan is from Asia, so it would make a lot more sense to house the gorilla, the chimpanzee, and also the bonobo in there. Also, maybe I'm changing plans a little bit and going to have the orangutan in there and not giving the bonobo a home, because it is quite similar to the chimpanzee. And I'm going to think about that before I record the next episode and build the next habitat. First of all, what I did in the house, I didn't want it to be this old-fashioned and classical build with a lot of concrete in there. So I decided I'm going to delete the barriers and give it a little bit more of a modern and more natural vibe. I wanted to have some kind of elevated paths in there and make it possible for our visitors to explore the whole area a little bit more. So I didn't want to have a straight path going through the house and having the home for the gorillas on the left and the chimpanzees on the right and the orangutan on the far right or wherever. And so I decided I wanted to have it a little bit more adventurous, like the title of our park is already saying it, Arizona Adventure Park, so I don't want it to be that boring. So you can see right now what I was going to do. I was experiencing that we have a dead gorilla in there. First of all, I thought this is a very uncomfortable position to lay down and have a nap. Turns out that it is going to be a very, very long nap, and our gorilla female seems not to wake up from the nap again. Very sad, because she didn't have a long life in our park. She just moved in the last episode and already over. But that's how life goes. I might have bought a very old female in the trading center. So, to get back to the point, I was going to build some kind of an elevated path around here and laying down the path in the house, which is going to be very, in an adventurous style. As you can see, it is not going straight through the hall, but it is elevated a little bit, so you can go on top of here and have a look on the inside area of the gorillas. Also, we are going to build on the inside areas in the last episode of the monkey house, which is going to be the next episode, I think. Or we're having an additional episode in between regular episodes where we are going to finish the inside habitats for our apes. Because I didn't want the indoor area as well to be very plain and simple, but I wanted it to be a little bit exciting and to have some kind of waterfalls or some kind of of foliage and something in there to make it look natural as well, so that it fits the whole theme of the house, the whole new theme of the house a little bit better. So we're going to do a lot of decoration and foliage, rocks, and yeah, stuff like that. I hope you guys like that, because yeah, as I said, I like the idea very much more than I did before. So yeah, we finished the barriers for the gorillas again, and now we are going to lay down the ground structure for the indoor habitat for the chimpanzees before we go at the outside and work on that. As I said, this is going to be very simple in the beginning, because we are going to get back into that in the next or the episode after that. But yeah, this is going to be very simple, because we want to have animals in there, and for that we have to have some kind of barriers and lay down at least the ground structure for the habitat. Yeah, so guys, as we are coming close to an end in Arizona Adventure Park, I thought about something else. We already have Waveland Park, which is a sandbox series, and I thought it might be cool and interesting for you guys if we do not only have sandbox series in there. I already was talking about, I think it was on this channel, I would say, on this series, where I was saying that I found a new love in building habitats in the Australian area and with Australian foliage and stuff like that. So I was thinking about, and let me know what you think about, to have a franchise series in English language on this channel. So what do you guys think about having a franchise series placed in Australia, where we're building a nice little Australian zoo? I don't think I want to play in hard mode on franchise, because I usually don't build on franchise mode that very often. It's been quite a while since I did that, so I think medium difficulty would be very suitable. Just yeah, just let me know what you think about that, and if you would like to see something like that on the channel, and I would be very happy to do that. I also wanted to say that some of you might remember one of the first series that I had here, where my viewers could take part in, was Fix My Habitat. Fix My Habitat is still a thing, so if you have a habitat in one of your zoos and you want to have a little upgrade on it and make it look nicer, or yeah, whatever, just let me know. Join me on my Discord. You can find the link to my Discord channel in the description of the video. Description. Yeah. You can find the link in the video. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so yeah. Fix My Habitat is still a thing on this channel, and it is not stopped. It is just on pause because I don't have any zoos to build in right now. So if you have something, just send it over to me. Give me a heads up on Discord or wherever you want to, and I will be happy to work in your zoos. So the next thing is Fix My Habitat, and another thing that I talked about in one of the last episodes is hire a zookeeper. So hire a zookeeper is a little bit different than Fix My Habitat, because Fix My Habitat, you are going to send me in some already existing stuff in your zoos that I should fix or redo, revamp, or whatever. And hire a zookeeper is a different thing. So when you have a zoo or you don't have a zoo and you want to build something but you are not capable of how to do it, or you think if you build it yourself it might not look as nice as you want it to look, you can hire me. That means just send me a message via Discord, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and let me know that you want me to build some kind of a habitat, restaurant, entrance, or whatever to your zoo, and I'm going to build that for you. Just let me know what you want to have, what kind of style it should be, and yeah, also what building pieces I could use, because it depends on which DLCs you also do have, and I will be happy to build that for you. So if you are interested in that, just yeah, leave a comment or contact me via social media. Okay, we are already here on the outside of our habitat. First of all, I did match it to the gorilla habitat, which means I put down all the same barriers and stuff that we did for the gorillas, so that it looks identically and does match the whole theme in here. And then I filled up the planters with some some of the same plants that we also used for the gorillas to make it look nice and lush and a little bit tropical. And after that we are going into the habitat itself and make a little bit terraforming in there to make the habitat look nice and a little bit different than the habitat from the gorillas, because we don't want to have the exact same habitat. I know sometimes in zoos it is designed like that, so if you have an area with with apes or with antelopes or antelope, I'm still not quite sure, do you say antelope or antelope? Just let me know in the comments, please. When you have certain areas for certain animals in some zoos, it is always designed that these areas look very similar, and that is something that I didn't want to have, because you want it to be a little bit more exciting, and also for you viewers it would be much nicer if you see at least something different in every episode, and you don't want to see me build the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, so I made something different. As you can see right here, I made a little mountain or a hill structure in there that makes the whole habitat look a little bit more interesting and gives our animals a little bit different options to move around. The next thing was my favorite part of building, building climbing structures. I still hate building climbing structures, even though I think I'm getting better at it. I'm still not quite there and still not enjoying it as much as I do all the other stuff, but I thought it is necessary if you're building some kind of habitat in a sandbox, and you want to have it designed a little bit more individual. So so I did that. I also deleted a lot of stuff out of this video because afterwards I was going into the house again and making some changes in the pathing, because I noticed as I was laying down the path again with the elevated paths, my staff areas weren't connected to the path anymore, so the stuff couldn't go into the habitats, so I had to change that and connect it again with the path, which was not that easy because the structures of the path were laid out very very creative, I might say, and yeah, wasn't that easy. But I managed it, and it works now. So what I have in here as well, and what I wanted to have, is something that we already had at the mandrills habitat in the safari zone. I wanted to have something like an overpass here. I might work on that as well a little bit, and yeah, because I think you don't want to have the chimpanzees to walk straight over the heads of the visitors. You want to, yeah, at least have it a little bit secured and a little bit more safe for our visitors. So maybe I put something underneath that, because I'm thinking about yeah, you know, you all have seen the videos on YouTube or on social media where monkeys or apes are throwing poop at the guests or something like that, and we definitely don't want that to happen in our zoo. So we might put something underneath the climbing structure that is going over the visitor path. Yeah, so I'm placing some toy enrichments right here, and I also did place some bedding on the inside of the habitat, so inside the house, because I wanted our monkeys or our chimpanzees to have a reason to go inside the house. So yeah, if we didn't have some enrichment or something in the house, the monkeys wouldn't have any reason to go in there, and yeah, it would be a waste of space. So that's something that you always want to do. And once again, for those who didn't see the episodes of Lemur Islands, which was the first habitat that we built in the zoo, and also didn't see the episode for the mandrill habitat, where we also have something like this overpass. If you build something like that, that means you have a separate indoor area and you have a separate outdoor area that are only connected to each other with some kind of an overpass. That means that your keepers are not going to be able to go into both habitats. So make sure that your keepers can go into the habitat where you place all the food. So if you want food enrichment or a feeder or something like that, you always have to place that items in the habitat where the keepers can go into. Toy enrichment and other things, decoration and whatever, you can place it in every habitat. You can place it in the indoor area and on the outdoor area, but food enrichment has always to be in that area where the keepers can go into. It won't be any problem for the keepers to clean the habitat, even though they can't go in there. So that is not a problem at all. But your keepers will always have to be able to go where the food is. So if you take care of that, and if you always have that in mind, it is no problem for you to build a habitat like that, where you have this huge outdoor area and also have an overpass to an indoor area. So it will work totally fine, and not only in sandbox mode, but also in franchise mode. So you can build that in every mode you want to. Yeah, with that being said, just placing some little trees in there. And what I always do is when I'm placing trees or when I'm placing some of them, I'm putting them down in the habitat. Then I go out of the habitat with the camera and have a look at the whole thing, how it looks, and then I go on with placing down some more of it. What I always do as well is when you have some of these rock structures here, like those faux rocks that I have used a lot in all of the ape habitats, I always place some kind of shrubbery in between to make it look a little bit more natural, or that it flows a little bit more into the whole habitat and makes it look more natural and more cohesive. Is it a word? Is it the right word? For sure, cohesive is a word, but I don't know if it is the right word. But I hope you understand what I was going to say. Yeah, and also make sure that you don't put those things, those plants and those rocks and trees and stuff like that only on the on one side of the habitat that you are looking at, but go around in different angles, so that it looks once again, I say cohesive. I have to Google that word if I use it the correct way. Yeah. Okay, so we are very close to finishing the whole thing. What I noticed is, were there any changes to the barrier system in any update in the past? Because I have a little bit of difficulties with placing the invisible barrier, the null barrier, because it is always like sunken into the ground very much, and yeah, that's a little bit of a problem, because sometimes I have difficulties in seeing where the barrier goes, and so I'm placing it too close at into the habitat or outside of the habitat, too far outside of the habitat, and yeah, it is really difficult for me to do that. Do you know, were there any changes, and if so, have you any tips for me how I can manage to work better with the invisible path, with the null barrier, with the invisible path, with the null barrier? So just let me know in the comment section if you have any suggestions for me. Yeah, so the habitat is finished right now, at least as much as I could or would finish it in this episode. I'm just placing some toy enrichments on the inside as well, because I definitely wanted you guys to see that our chimpanzees are going to use the overpath and walk over the heads of our guests. Just placing some benches and also some trash bins around the habitat, and then we are good to go. We can welcome our chimpanzees. I placed a pretty huge group. I think it's about 10 or 12 individuals already, because once again that habitat is quite big, and I wanted to have some things going on in there, and I wanted our guests to actually see the chimpanzees, and not like the gorillas where you have to look for them, although they are always right here at the front of the habitat, so it's not quite difficult for our guests to see the apes. Yeah, so here we are in the real life part. I recorded it a few times, because every time that I recorded it there was something that came in between, like the telephone was ringing, or the dog was barking, the neighbor was going around with his machines, and yeah, so this is the third time or the fourth time, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's have a look at our beautiful chimpanzees in their beautiful new and huge habitat. And If you like the whole thing, then leave a like, hit the like button, press subscribe if you didn't subscribe to my channel already, and I hope to see you guys next week when we are going to build the final habitat for the monkey house, or for the ape house. Monkey world is not going to be finished after that. We still have at least 3 more habitats to do, and I also was thinking about some smaller habitats around Monkey World to fill in some gaps, maybe with some smaller animals like the babirusa, or or animals like that. Yeah, we will wait and see. And also the capybara might find a home in here as well, so look out for that, and have a great day, have a great time, and see you guys next Monday. Bye!